Man, okay, I got exactly where I want to start. Now, I don't think you know where I want to go with this, but I can't tell you how much Laker fans loved the development of Max Christie. And Max Christie, now a part of obviously the Dallas Mavericks, and no one will probably be able to kind of have a better gauge of how he's doing since he got traded from the Lakers. We could hit on a number of different topics, but um, how are Mavs fans welcoming, or is it a shock and a surprise? Like how much of we know the shock of the Luka trade period, but how much are they watching and seeing Max Christie night in and night out and saying, hey, who the hell is this guy? This guy's not bad. What are they saying about Max Christie?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. I mean, the organization itself did not think that Max Christie was as good as he's been so far in the first 6 games. I mean, he's averaging over 17 points per game. He started a couple of games as well. But the maturity and poise of the now 22-year-old that he's come in and played with has been extremely impressive. He handled himself well during the initial press conference, the introductory press conference. It really gave us a window into the kind of player and person that he is. And he has kind of taken all this in stride and has stepped onto the floor and played a crucial role in this team, winning 4 out of their last 5 games going into the break. So, and for fans, he has turned into very quickly a fan favorite for a lot of Mavs fans here because, you know, again, to step into a very difficult situation but produce immediately the way that he has and the opportunities that he's got has helped Mavericks fans. They will never obviously completely move on from what happened with this trade.
Sure.
But to get a player who so far has produced on both ends of the floor with the consistency at which he's done it with, Max Christie has turned himself, as I said, quickly into a fan favorite here in Dallas. And I've been very impressed with the way that he has come in, fit into his role, and done exactly what the Mavericks have asked him to do. And he's done it quite well. The question will be how much more consistent can he do this over the next 26 games that he's going to have available to him for the rest of the season to continue to prove that. But so far, it's the Max Christie trade right now. So far, based on what he's been able to produce for this Mavs team.
Well, it's interesting because I will tell you this. Here's Lakers. Here's the relationship with Max Christie. The relationship is last year he can barely really find a way to get on the court. A lot of what was going on with, unfortunately for Max Christie, but he just wasn't really getting opportunities. And a lot of that had to do with Darvin Ham wanted to play guys that were more proven. Taurean Prince was on the roster. There were some other players that he'd go to way before he went to Max Christie. And then J.J. Redick becomes the head coach of the Lakers. And then all of a sudden, not in the beginning of the season, but probably about 10, 15 games in, he starts getting some real playing time. And things start, churning the other way. And all of a sudden, he starts becoming a really, really good contributor to the Lakers. And then they trade for Luka. And then I still get comments. It's like, did we have to include Max Christie? It's like, well, what do you want? What do you want to include if you're getting Luka Dončić? But so it's good to hear that he's having the type of success that he's having, and he's getting some love because honestly, I feel like he deserves it for being such a young player, but also really, really mature for his age.
Yeah, and I think that's the impressive part for him is that with all the difficult circumstances that he had to come in and deal with, being a part of this trade, and for a lot of folks thinking, well, he may not be the player that you would think would have the immediate impact that he has had so far. It's been good to see him be able to handle all of this and do so very comfortably, but also with the production, and he has come in and fit in seamlessly to what this team wants to do. They're going to build this team on defense as far as its identity is concerned, and for having a cost control player at 22 years old producing like this that can also give you an idea that he can fit into the future of this team has been quite the pleasant surprise for Mavericks fans with Max Christie and what he's done so far.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you guys wanted Dalton Connect instead, we're very happy to take Christie back.
You know, it's funny you say that because that was one of the many comments I've had about this trade is that, I thought if you're going to move on from Luka Dončić, okay, fine, you made the decision.
Yeah.
You got to extract as much from the Lakers as you can in order to get this generational superstar. And look, both those first-round picks that you had, Dalton Connect, Max Christie, send all that to Dallas. You need to send as much as I can get out of this because if I'm going to send you Luka Dončić, then I need to get as much as I can, even in addition to a guy like Anthony Davis. So that was one of the more disappointing aspects of the trade is the lack of more that I thought Nico Harrison, if he's going to make this move, could have gotten in a trade for Luka Dončić and Anthony Davis.
Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'll come back a little bit to the actual kind of, you call it the specifics of the trade, how Mavs fans feel today, Anthony Davis. We'll do all that. Can I just get your thoughts and opinion of you? You've obviously been following Luka since he got into the NBA. You've been watching his unbelievable career over being 25 years old and accomplish what he's been able to accomplish. He's played 2 games with the Lakers so far, coming back from that calf injury. And he's been very, you could tell, rusty, I think is the term that he's used. He's going to need a little bit of time. Probably the timing of the All-Star break is good for him. Let's just say we're in mid-March, a month from now, and Luka's back and he's healthy and he's not worried about that. No restriction in minutes and everything else. What kind of Luka do you feel like the Lakers are going to get when he is the Luka Dončić that you're accustomed to seeing when he was in Dallas?
A walking triple-double every night. I mean, there will always be questions about him on the defensive end, and that's warranted. But I think people forget that last year, Luka was a top 10 steals guy in the league. So you can't be not giving any kind of effort on defense to be top 10, in steals. So there's some defensive effort that he puts forward, and he will continue to do that as time goes on. But I mean, offensively, he's a juggernaut. He can make every pass in the book. He's a 3-level scorer. He's a guy that's going to get to the basket. He's going to do everything. He's become a terrific 3-point shooter last year, shot a career high in terms of percentage from the 3-point line, over 38% from 3. I mean, he has no holes in his game offensively, and he will make everyone on the floor better because he's there. I mean, if you're going to be a guy that's going to get open looks, there's no better player to play with than Luka Dončić. He generates open threes better than anyone in the history of this league. So guys are going to thrive off of him. LeBron is going to have some pressure taken off of him. Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. Hell, you saw Jackson Hayes in the first game. The first pass that Luka makes is a lob, to Jackson Hayes for a dunk. I mean, Jackson Hayes isn't even going to, eat off of what Luka Dončić does. So you're literally on. And now that's what makes this trade so difficult. Like last year, less than a year ago, we were talking about Luka Dončić as arguably the best player in the league. You could throw Giannis and obviously Jokic in there. But we were talking about a guy that last year had a season that we had never seen before, a 34-9-9 year, the most points, rebounds, and assists combined since the merger. I mean, there any number and won the scoring title last year. I mean, any numbers that you want to throw out there, Luka accomplished those things. And by the way, led his team to the NBA Finals. So when he's right, we're talking about arguably the best player in the world. Again, Jokic and Giannis are right there. But that's how terrific of a talent it is. And when he is right, there's no one arguably better than him in the league. So as LeBron Pelinka said, y'all got a gift. Y'all got an amazing gift in the player that Luka Dončić could be, especially when he's healthy.
All right, I'm going to come back to that gift in a second. I think, one of the things that the Lakers clearly don't have is they don't have those. He'll do everything he can with Jackson Hayes. Alex Len's not going to be that, that player they're rolling off. Maybe Lakers decide they're going to go small in a lot of these games, and they're going to use DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith, and LeBron and some of these to play some of the other big men on the other squad. But how important do you think it is once the Lakers get past this year? Because listen, I think if we want to be realistic, they just thought, let's get Luka. We'll figure everything else out later. And they're going to get that opportunity in the offseason to start figuring it out. And Luka's only 25 years old, so they'll eventually be able to build. But I'm just curious, how much damage do you think they could do this year when they don't have, I think, what makes some of the things that makes Luka so great? Now, great players adjust to anything, but they don't have that lively PJ Washington, Gafford. Like there was that roster was built clearly around Luka. How difficult is it going to be that he doesn't have some of those guys just for the remainder of this season, and then they'll figure it out come in the summer?
I mean, I still think that they're a Western Conference Finals threat. I mean, I go back to a few seasons ago. the starting center for the Dallas Mavericks when they went to the West Final, when they lost in 5 games to the Golden State Warriors, was Dwight Powell. And Dwight Powell's been a serviceable big man in the league for a long time. Not a great big man, obviously, never an all-star, that kind of thing, but a serviceable big man. And he took that team to the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson and Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, and if he could take that team to a Western Conference Final, I mean, he's doing okay with the pieces around him in Los Angeles. So, I mean, just having him on this team makes him a legitimate playoff threat because of what he has done in the past, but most importantly, what he most recently done and helping the Mavericks go to the NBA Finals. And then you add LeBron James, Austin Reeves, then you got Rui Hachimura. You'll see what you can get from Jackson Hayes, Dorian Finney-Smith, who's had experience, had been there, done that before. So this is a team, if they're able to put it together over the post All-Star break, they got a legit chance to make it, second round Western Conference Finals because Luka is that good. He raises the ceiling for the Lakers that much and can do so that quickly if they get it to gel in a short amount of time here.
All right, thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.